Hello everyone, myself Mugesharan. So this is my task 4 at Need Data for my data science internship, which is Exploratory Data Analysis for plastic emission onto ocean. So for doing this, I'll be using this data set. So first I need to load my data set to the Google Colab, and for that I'll be just dragging and dropping them into this section. So once I drop them in this section, it is automatically uploaded. So first and copy its path. So followed by I'll be loading those that data into our Google Colab notebook, and we'll be performing exploratory data analysis on it. So first I'm importing all the necessary packages. So pandas is usually used for data manipulation and analysis, and I'm using this plotly.express as px, which is for data visualization. Today we'll be using this function for the data visualization. So first I'm importing them, and now I'm using this read underscore CSV function under pandas to load my data set under the variable data set. So I'm doing that, and now using this info function, I can look at my data set, and which is the number of columns present and those null values present in those columns and the data types of those columns. So here you can see there are only three columns: river, country, and plastic percentage. So this is the name of the river, and this is the country in which that river is present, and this is the plastic percentage, meaning the percentage the river is polluted. So these are the data types. So using this shape function, I can look at the dimension of our data set, which is 52 cross 3, meaning there are 52 records present in our data set and only 3 columns present. And using this set function, I can look at the top 5 values of our data set. So this is it. And shortly after that, I'll be checking if there are any null values present in my data set using this isNav function. And this returns false if there are no null values, and this will sum up them. So using them, I can look at the null values present in each and every column. So since there are no null values, it returns 0. So after that, using this dtypes function, I can look at the data types of the variables, and using this describe function, I can look at some calculations made on those float columns. And since only for float column it is applying, I'll be specifically mentioning include all for my parameter. So this will describe for all the columns. So here you can see there are 52 rivers, and there are 52 countries, in which specifically there are only 16 countries. So from this, what we can analyze is that, so from Philippines there are 19 rivers coming. So immediately after that, we'll be stepping on to the visualization part. So first we are selecting the country column, and using this function we are making a frequency table for it, and we are storing that in the rivers. And using this data frame function under pandas, we are converting them into a data frame and storing it under the variable river underscore total. So after that, so this is what we got. So we have got the frequency table stored in the data set named river underscore total. So after that, for the column named count, I'll be using this sum function to sum of the totals. So as usual, we have got 52. So there are 152 rivers present. So we'll be plotting a bar graph for this frequency table. So for that purpose, I am using this function called bar, and inside the bar, I am passing the parameter first. The first parameter will be my data set, which is river underscore total, and the second one is my x-axis, which is the names of these countries. So I'm using this function to pass the name of those countries, and my y-axis will be the count, meaning the numbers. So these are my basic things, and using these functions, like I can store it under the name x, and I can update the x using the function update underscore layout. So inside that, I can write some additional things in it. like title for my plot, and the x-axis and y-axis I can label them. And finally I need to use this function x.show. So I'm plotting the bar graph. Now you can see the bar graph has been plotted. So you can see it is visually appealing than the usual ones that we use, which is, the shebuns or math.plot, all those things. So from now on, I'll be using this function, which is plotly.express. You can try it too. So basically, we have drawn the box plot for this frequency table. So when you hover, you can look at the country name and the number of rivers present in it. So Philippines is the highest one, which has rivers, and the next one is India, which has 1 rivers, and Malaysia being the third one, 4, and China 3. And so after that, again we'll be plotting a bar graph. So in this time we'll be using our initial original data set, and we'll be selecting the river column for our x-axis and the y-axis being the percentage, and we'll be differentiating them based on the color. And as usual, I'm using this update_layout function to add the extra things, which is our title for our plot and the label for our x-axis and y-axis. So I'm plotting them. So this is the ultimate graph we have drawn, which means our entire data set is visualized here. So we have only 3 columns, which is country, river, and plastic percentage. So all those things are included in this graph. So you can see when I hover them, you can see all those informations. So after that, we are plotting a scatter plot for the same condition. So here I can see the same thing is done with the scatter function. So we have drawn a scatter plot. And immediately after that, we are plotting a tree map. You can understand this tree map when you are looking at this. So for making a tree map, I'm using this function tree map. And inside that, first I'm passing my data set, which is the original data set. And inside that, under this path parameter, you can, pass the arguments, like you can pass the columns in which order they must be grouped. First, I'm passing by country, they must be splitted. So after that, by name. So passing this will just label in my graph. So without that, and I'm using for colors, I'm using the plastic percentage column. So the highest being this one, and followed by these. So we have drawn this. So when you look at everything, this is what happens. So if I'm clicking at Philippines, all those rivers inside the Philippines are only shown. And if I'm clicking at India, all the information about the rivers inside India is shown. So the order in which you are passing this is also matters. For example, if I'm passing this only with river, there won't be any, we won't be grouping them based on the countries. I can look at that. So we haven't labeled any country. You can see there are no labels for the countries because we haven't passed anything. So if I'm changing the order, you can see they are first split based on the river name, and after that based on the country, which is total based in this situation. So first country followed by the river name. And the same thing, I'm using this update_layer function to update my title of my box plot. And using this function, I can set the margin, like T for the top, L for left, R for right, D for the bottom. So I set top as 50. If you change that, I think to 30. So that's it. So if I'm looking at the total percentage in the plastic contribution, it is around 25.95, which is around 26%. So this is the exploratory data analysis that we have done to our data set. So this is the end of today's session. Thank you.